We want to discuss about business, about how we support our families, about how we support our partners in terms of creating business, creating generational business that would outlive us as individuals to our children's children. We want to discuss here about value addition, about impact, about trust, about accountability, and how we can use all those values to get a grant, which we have an opportunity here through WIDU to support all those that we have said. And in that sense, supporting ourselves as Africans and our families, brothers and sisters, and at the end, even, like creating those wealth and building our own country, and not only that, but also building ourselves as business people. So I'm so pleased today to have you all, and I'm very happy because the number today most probably is because I had said we have a special guest. We've been talking on how to apply WIDU, the processes around it, but there is one key point that for some people it becomes a little bit mysterious, because we are talking about coaching, one aspect that many people really take for granted, because we always only concentrate on funding and finance. But the success of that availability of finance will be determined on how you are well skilled in terms of business, in terms of recording, in terms of all other aspects of running a business. And this is the aspect of coaching. And we are very happy today to have Joshua Kimboy. I will let him introduce himself. I just said the name, so just take that you don't know his name now. We will have him his name again. But he's one of the best, actually. I was in Nairobi last year, one of the best coaches that won the best coach in 2022 coaches evaluation or review. And I'm happy as diasporans here and maybe even entrepreneurs. I told you last time, when you come into this meeting, bring your entrepreneurs as well so that we can be on the same page. So I just said I'm very happy to have him here because we are actually getting the best for ourselves as diasporans. So I'm happy that he will be here to enlighten some of the questions that we have, and maybe even answer further, maybe how does it look like? What does it mean when you visited diaspora, the entrepreneur, and then so forth? And maybe other questions that we may be thinking is necessary to have him answer. So before that, because I see a lot of different faces here who have not been here, and most probably all of you have been here. Pastor Tila, I'm very happy that you are here. We need to bring all those church members to benefit for this, because actually the qualification of what we need for Kenyans around here and there are actually what the church teaches, is accountability and trust. So it really rhymes well with the program. So Pastor Tila, we are happy to have you here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much, Simon.
Asante sana. So the next part that I wanted to show you, just because I will run through a very small, maybe before we let our coach comes in, I want to run through a presentation which we couldn't make it last week because of internet issue. And I've been having this problem because actually, as I said last time, I'm on holiday. Can you hear me? If you miss me, you just give me a signal. Because sometimes I've got to be actualizing the internet here. I'm away from my office, so I'm in southern France, and sometimes internet can be a challenge here. So thank you, Alvin. I see you. So let me run this very quick presentation here, just for those ones who are new, just to put you in context. so that we are able to, and then you will tell me if you are seeing my screen. So you're seeing my screen, just thumbs up if you're seeing everything. Alvin or Cleophas, you will be helping each other. Thank you. So I call it here is real. Here are the success stories. So this program is really real. It's not something that is being cooked. One of the interesting thing about this is it was built out of what the diasporan family have experienced, you know. We usually call in Swahili watu wengi walikunywa maji, you know, because they were being asked to send to remit, something is going on and going on. No one is, you know, there was no control checks. This program works well because the little that we sent, and having said again how this this program came into being, the little that we sent has got a control mechanism to really make sure that what we say we are doing is what we are doing. And the people we are dealing with are the accountable people. So in fact, the biggest qualification that we have in this program is accountability and trust. And I always tell you as Kenyan diasporans in Europe, you can do as many projects as you want, but please, the people you want to engage, they have to be accountable, they have to be good people, because at the end of the day, inasemekana rotten viazi ikiingia kwa one bag, the whole bag will go rotten. So we want people who also, not just because of you and your family and whatever, but to all of us as a Kenyan family, because if a program is set to support us and there are few who are doing the negative, the ratings into the towards us as a people will be spoiled. So it's our responsibility as well as Kenyans, diasporans, that we bring people who are really accountable, trustworthy, and everything. So let me not go far into that. But again, I want to stress that for this program and the qualification for the entrepreneurs on the ground, apart from other things, the biggest one is that that person that we are bringing to be involved in this project has to be an accountable person, has to be a trustworthy person, has to be someone who really mean well, and who really, you know, like not after a fraud, not after something else, but someone who really want to make change, want to have impact, want to create job, who really want to even support another person in creating jobs, so that that family, next family there, could have a meal on the table. And together, when you accumulate all these forces from different people as diasporans, we will see an increase in the whole living standard as a nation, as a people, and even as a continent. So this is a program which is run by GIZ, financed by BMZ. BMZ is the Ministry of Cooperation Development or International Development, which is funded by actually taxpayers' money. So as I ran through this, so WIDU, and I've told you, especially the beginning of this brand called WIDU. WIDU is a bird which is called in German Windorf. V in German, W is pronounced as V, so it will Windorf. So it sounds like WIDU. So German will read this as a WIDU. So Windorf is a bird here, which actually moves from one continent to another one, which in essence could be representing, or it looks like an African diaspora, moving back to the continent, going back looking for food, and going back to this. So it's a program which is named by this brand as WIDU, based on the action of this bird, which means a diasporan doing such things. And it's called the smart way to support friends and family. Friends and family is because the assumption here is that among friends and family is trust. So it's again financed by the German Corporation of International Development, implemented by GIZ through a program called WIDU. So there is one video here, which maybe I can run shortly, just for you. Can you hear it? We will jump that video. I think there is a problem. So it's just one of the documentation of some people who have received this WIDU, and I know many are here who have also received. I see a chat. Okay, we leave it. I think there is a problem with the voice. So again, this program started in 2019. For the past, it was going to go until 2023. And we are very lucky that this program has been extended to 2026, another 6 years, or 3 years. So we have an opportunity from now to 2026 to really do the much we can and use this program prudently or diligently. Meaning we have to find our people who are really trustworthy. And the link, Marcella is asking for the link for this one. I hope, just a minute, I think I will share it on the link. Can someone maybe type it on the link you should be having on your WhatsApp, you know, the link to join the meeting? Please just drop it on the WhatsApp. Who is volunteering to co-host so that I can maybe can help us as I continue, because we don't want to waste a lot of time. So the aim of this program is actually the creation of jobs, and not only just to create jobs, but again, to improve the entrepreneurship. And improving the entrepreneurship will mean that remittance that we were sending home as a kind of money that was used for consumption. Thank you, Joshua. Joshua has pasted the link there. Thank you. So the money that we're sending home, which was more or less, it was seen by the, like the government, which actually captures this money flow, that those monies were being used for consumption, medical, school fees, and the rest. But now we have it and we want to make it more sustainable. And that is why WIDU programs comes in as a program that will also help us to upgrade actually this consumption that will just be finished within, I don't know, a day or a week, to create businesses that could outlive our own, like our own short-term expenses, but also to go into generation, creating jobs and creating businesses that outlive. And not only that, creating wealth. There is nothing wrong. Actually, this thing is meant for wealth. There is nothing wrong being wealthy and living a better life. In fact, there is everything wrong being poor and struggling and everything. So we need to use this program, create businesses that would outlive generations, and then we no longer, even in creation of that, we create industries. One thing that I always want to say is we want to take, one of the aim is we want to take away the kiosk mind of all these, what we have been doing. So we don't just want to buy and sell and then disappear. So another thing that is for this program is that it is in 6 countries in Africa, but we are concentrating on Kenya, which we all come from. Of course, if there is someone from Cameroon, he will also benefit from this session today, because the program is the same. But I remember, again, as a challenge for Kenyans, when Cameroon got this program, I tell you, they were, let me give a co-host to Alfin and Cleophas, so that you can let people in when they come in. Please, Cleophas, just a minute. I want to give co-host to some guys here so that we can proceed. Just a minute. Alvin, you can also give course admin to Clover so that you can help us let people in. Thank you. So again,
All right, no problem.
Thank you, Alvin. So again, these people were given Cameroonian, I remember in 2020, during the mid of COVID. They were given, like this program, and they all used it all until they were stopped to tell them, oh, wait, guys, I think we want to check if there is enough money for all this project you are registering. And here we are as Kenyans, we say, go and register, talk with your entrepreneurs. Someone takes a week before, and then you want to send another 200 euros in 1 week. That one will just be, like tunaita kulamba tu imeenda in 1 week. Instead of using that, maybe using that 200 to create a project. And in 200 euros, if you were to send that 200 through a project which you created through WIDU, you will be having 200. The Kenyan diaspora might have to raise another 200 euros, and then you will get 400 euros from WIDU. The qualification, again, very simple. People have to be accountable, trustworthy, and people have to do what they say that they want to do. So, and then you would have created not only something for consumption, but for future other needs that you may have. So these are statistics. I don't want to dwell much on this to show how, like all these monies have been flowing on to Kenya. And you can see that UK and Germany have been leading in terms of remittance. And some of the companies here, which I was saying, I told them last time, I think we need to talk to our brothers and sisters in Sweden and Norway, and other ones, because they've been sending little. Sweden is doing well, 15. Oh, okay, you're doing well, but you're not using the program. That's just the monies that I was talking about. Use the program, then you will be better. So, and if you see on, let me move this one down so that I can access the whole program down. So you see, these are just statistics which have been moving back home. And if you want to see the diaspora remittance making around 3% to 4% actually of the national GDP, that is not a small thing. Imagine now, if we were to create impact through this program, this program is a game changer. And it will always put us in a very strategic position as the diasporans. So we need to use it. We need to have take this very seriously. So again, the Kenyan diasporans in these 7 countries can partner with entrepreneurs back home who have good businesses, no business environment, lack business skill. They shouldn't be lacking business skill, but that is also the work of the coach, which we will hear now. Lack of finance. So we could, if you are in any of these countries, and I tell you, I challenge all of you who are present today, that if you know anyone in any of these countries, a Kenyan, share with them. We don't need to sit with this opportunity. Let Germany and WIDU and GIZ say, stop, guys, I think you're applying too much, than applying less. But of course, remember again, there are criteria on these businesses, that you want to create. We don't want to just, again, use money like this in something that do not, let's say, one, is not sustainable in terms of generational. Are you building something that without lifetime? You're not creating any job. If you are creating job, then you fit. If it's a generational business that you're thinking long-term, if you are very innovative, then you are in. If you are creating jobs, then you are in. If you have a particular impact with what you are doing, then you are in. And then on top of that, if you're accountable and trustworthy, and it sums it all up, then you're in business. So, and then I don't see a reason why we can't use it. Anyway. So send money home, those are sort of, if you are profiling a kind of a diasporan who will want to use WIDU, is someone who know like good business ideas, keen investing, promising ideas, funding often transparent. Again, you see funding often transparent, like not something in inaenda chini chini, lakini pesa yenye inaenda direct. I always tell people, when you send it, later when you have been told by the coach will tell us how he does it. When you have been told, use M-Pesa, it help you to do the documentation. So these are the main stakeholders. Again, diaspora and entrepreneurs, BMZ, and business coaching. Number 4 here is our part: technical assistance, financial literacy, business modeling, and all that. But our guest today will tell us more. I'm just rushing this. The process, again, for those ones who are new, you go as the Kenyan diasporans into WIDU.Africa. Go on the upper side of that website. It's called Apply Now. Click there, create an account. Once you create an account, put your password. You have an account, invite your entrepreneur. You should have been talking already. Set your profile properly, set what you want to send him as the amount, which creates the 25%. If you say you are sending him 200, then he has to raise 200, and WIDU will give you now 400 because you raised 200, then he matches as 50%. So the maximum you can raise is 1,250, minimum 125 euros. And WIDU will always match your double, this side. And then the process, as I said, you get the account. It always starts with the African diaspora. And then it goes like this. One, he has accepted your invitation, and then you plan the investment of this 50% plus the 50% that you are going to get from WIDU. You get it, everything. You submit your project proposal, what you want to do. WIDU will evaluate it, look at that. And when they think that is okay, they will tell you it's okay. The coach will contact you. Now that will be the coach to tell you what he does and how long it takes. Once the coach has come, he will tell you, go ahead, then you invest your 50% and upload the receipts. Once it is done, the coach will come again, check. He will tell us again what he does. After finishing with that one, you get the 50%. Again, this is a disclaimer. Don't send money before the coach gets in touch with your entrepreneur on the ground. Otherwise, that money will not count in the project line. So, another thing that we talked last week, the money that you are transferring as 25% has to show that there is a remittance between Europe in any of those countries to Kenya, but to that entrepreneur, not anywhere else. Okay, so the rest, I want to say again, so that people may think that it's just only a German issue and no one knows. Actually, these things have been, let's say, put on the ground to Kenya. So people really who are running it are Kenyans in Kenya. Frida was here with us some time back. These are the WIDU program teams on the ground. There is what they call ASEC. They also partners, Eldo Hub. This is where our guest today comes from. There are others where the coaches come from. Kenya Diaspora Alliance, they are doing also coordination on the ground as well. And then when it comes to the European side here, I also do the consulting and the mobilization. There are other actors around in the European level. Caroline, if you know her, she was also doing last year, and other organizations. So we want to bring all Kenyans, as many as possible. We do definition of the diaspora donor. So this word, I want to take a disclaimer again. Sorry, we do consider a donor, but I want to understand ourselves are not as donors. We don't want just to become donors. Donation always had this discrepancy, There is someone who is lacking completely, and what they want to just show is not hard work, but sometimes, luck. But I want us to talk that we are partners to create generational businesses. So we want to see ourselves as diaspora business investors and partners, not just donation, because the understanding of donation back home is that I need to be poor, I need to be pitied on, and that is the qualification someone will have to donate to me. But we want to see this as the one who has got to get this money back home is hardworking, transparent, thinking long-term in terms of sustainability and creating impact, value addition, creating jobs. Those are the qualifications, not donation because you are poor. So I hope I understand. We will make sure that WIDU will also define the word donor. I have a problem with it, but for now, it's called diaspora donor, which is you and me as African diasporans. But I want to see ourselves as partners when it comes to business and something that is sustainable. So for application, you have to be 18, have a valid passport, and a resident in one of these countries that we mentioned. You can start, again, the donor, you as the African diasporan in Europe can start 3 parallel projects or businesses that you can submit to your entrepreneurs with 3 different entrepreneurs. And each of those one can apply 3 times after one has been closed, after one has been accomplished. So to support the entrepreneurs, this is our role, the diaspora, socially and financially as well, connect with other diaspora members, increase outreach. That is our work. And that is why we are happy to have Pastor Tila in Sweden. We are going to do another one, a very special session for Sweden as well. And as well as we are going to do a special session for Netherlands. We haven't gotten someone from Switzerland. We need to find ways on how we get these guys. And then also someone from, Switzerland. We need to get someone to work with us. Must have connection to the entrepreneur, family relation, or is it must have a connection to the entrepreneur. Connection here is also loosely used. But if I know you and you are a trustworthy person and I've built that connection, trust between you, I can support you or you can support one person. You don't have to be a brother or sister. Show integrity, abide by rules and terms and conditions, follow up implementation. So here, what makes WIDU so innovative? Local experts, so people who know exactly how the market works. So kama unataka kujifanya tunajua kila kitu, unataka kudanganya na receipt, these guys will know it because they know the ground. So this phase is very familiar, we will see. So the rest, just innovation again. This is what we say, this is the original WIDU grants. There are also local calls which do not require us as African diasporans, like green call, food call. There is also coming, prepare yourself women. Another one called women call. They are called thematic calls or interventional calls, just to support entrepreneurs and people in business on the ground. So that one that is coming, we will communicate when it is on, so that you may prepare yourself. I think women who have been in business for the past 2 years, so prepare yourself, and then you can get, it's usually 1 to 2.5. You raise one point, and then they give you double and a half of that. So the rest are just, like the information on how we work. Let me just move to these statistics. Already the dispatched amount is over 1 million, 1.2 million euros, which has gone to different projects. So we are creating impacts around, when you look at kind of jobs, I think 7,000 jobs have been created or something like this through different projects that have gone place. And then these are, again, the kind of, for those ones who may be thinking, what kind of businesses are funded? Actually, I usually say almost all of legal and businesses that show all those criteria, innovative, generational, adding value addition, you are creating jobs, impact, and it's legal, then you are in business, it can be funded. So, but the biggest of it, of course, is agriculture. Services could range from, I don't know, a barber shop, whatever, to all these other ones. So again, these are the diaspora registrations. So, and that is why I was talking what was Sweden and Switzerland, we see that the number of people who have registered and maybe have created projects and businesses are coming from Germany, 65% of the total, what is being received by WIDU. So France is 11, Austria is 9, Sweden, so Pastor Tila, that is why you see why I was talking to you, 7%. Switzerland is almost, yeah. Netherlands, Genevieve, and Joe, and I don't know who, is 2.5. What is happening there for people not to take the opportunity that we're given? We should ask ourselves. You could be creating impact. You could be part of this impact. So these are just organizations that work together with WIDU to make sure that we get the information we need and really we create impact together. So it's, let me call it a family of organizations, but you and me are really part of this and we can make sure that it works. So we are the people who will bring accountable people because we want to see real changes. And then just part of success stories. This lady started with 4 pigs. Now she's at 400 pigs. You can imagine employing 5. Another young guy who is called Afri Farmer is employing already 2-3 employees in his doing manufacturing of feed and poultry in Coast. And Talanda Junior, you know, already it's a school. Some people are asking whether it is. So upcoming sessions, just before I finish, and then we invite our guests. I do this for these 4 countries now, every Tuesday and Thursday. And on Sunday, if you have time and you have a burning question, you can come in through the same link, 6:30 p.m., you know, Central Europe time and East African time, 7:30. So you can always come in on Tuesday or Thursday. But if you want to apply, even without coming here, go there, create an account. That is the first thing actually that you can do. It doesn't cost you anything. It can only show that you have an intention to do something. So let me stop there so that I can have time for our guests so that we can have enough time for questions. Thank you so much for listening to me. And when we finish now, you know where to start to click. WIDU.Africa, go and create an account. There's an African diaspora. Don't start as an entrepreneur because it doesn't amount to anything. It's only you can be invited by the African diaspora, you and me from Europe. So thank you for that. I want to stop there. And then I come back. Thank you so much for listening to me. Before we head to question, I want to take this opportunity to invite our guest. Let me see if he's still around. Asanteni sana. Yes, he's still around. So again, let me see what you have written on. And is there a plan to include Ireland? Let's finish with Netherlands and then maybe we can negotiate with Ireland. Maybe. I mean, if statistics will show that there are many Kenyans in Ireland and they're doing the same what we are doing, we can always create sort of like an avenue to say, hey guys, we have a lot of Kenyans here. They want to get involved in this project. What can we do? So, Genevieve, I take your point. Let's see. So, without further ado and maybe discussing so much, I want to thank our guests today. Thank you for creating this time and for honoring my invitation to come here to demystify the question on coaching and maybe again to give us what is really the gist of coaching. Why is it so important, not only financing? Bwana Joshua Kimboy, my brother, thank you so much. I'm happy for you. And a disclaimer again, give him applause of round of applause because he won the best coach. He's a very dedicated coach. That is why I brought the best to us. So welcome, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kirui. I don't know if you are able to hear me.
Yes, and I can give you a right of hosting so that you can, maybe if you want to reflect something.
Oh, no, I don't have a presentation because we are
No.
having a challenge with the power supply in Kenya. And I'm just using my phone. So maybe I'm going to make my presentation and then I'll share with you the presentation so that you can share with the participants. I want to appreciate so much for the opportunity to participate in this session. As you've heard, my name is Joshua Kemboi. I'm in Kenya and I'm one of the WIDU coaches. I began in 2020, that was November. And we are still supporting entrepreneurs to build sustainable businesses. So I'm going to make a very brief presentation, and will allow me to stop my video because we are having a problem with power, but I'll switch it on if need be. So straight away, I'm here to talk about the role of WIDU business coaching. It is one of the most important components within WIDU.
Did we lose him? Hi guys, can you hear me?
Let's come to the roles of these business coach. As you've heard from Kirui, he mentioned a number of things that is happening in WIDU. We have the GIZ implementing the project here in Kenya on behalf of Germany. We have coaches who are contracted to give these professional services to these entrepreneurs. We have the entrepreneur in Kenya who is participating, and we are having the diaspora counterpart who is being referred as a donor. It's just a terminology, but I think I'm in agreement with my brother Simeon. We need to change this terminology of a donor because someone might think this is someone going to give me money. So this coach has a number of roles, and I'm going to give general roles and then I'll give the specifics. The first role of a coach, of a WIDU coach, is to help WIDU entrepreneur to build sustainable businesses. Remember, one of the main objectives of WIDU is to promote employment creation in these African participating countries. The second objective is to generate income, and the third objective is to enhance the living standards of our people here at home. But the major one is to promote employment creation. So this WIDU coach is coming to help these entrepreneurs to build sustainable businesses, because we have an history of people beginning a business after 2 months, 3 months, the business fails. The business is not sustainable. So what do we mean by sustainable business? A sustainable business has 3 components. One, it must have an ability to minimize negative impact on the environment. For example, we find these entrepreneurs saying that I want a power supply and I'm intending to install a generator, a diesel generator. So, you know, diesel generator emits carbon to the environment. And so the work of the coach is to help this entrepreneur to adopt renewable energy by maybe in the investment plan, investing on something like solar panels. So the second component of a sustainable business is a business that has positive effect on the society, that is social responsibility. It is a business that is able to create meaningful employment, not just employment, but meaningful or decent employment. And the last component for that, the last component of a sustainable business must have economic benefit, that is to generate income. So one of the main roles of the coach is to help entrepreneurs to build sustainable businesses. The second general role of coach is to offer guidance and mentorship to WIDU entrepreneurs. The third one, which is key, is to monitor the implementation of the WIDU projects. And I'm going to show you how the coach monitors and evaluates the project in order to make sure that it is sustainable, it is successful. The fourth one is to establish methods of improvement. Through that period that the entrepreneur is participating in the WIDU program, it is the role of a coach to establish methods of improving that project so that the entrepreneur might be successful and make optimum profits. Another key role is the coach does evaluation of the project at every stage. This coach has the powers to tell WIDU or to advise WIDU either to approve the grant or to decline the grant application based on the terms and conditions that I'm going to share. Another role of the coach is to offer business coaching, which is the main component now. They are offering business coaching, and I'm going to show you how the WIDU coach offers business coaching. And then the last one is to develop reports and to submit to WIDU. So therefore, I want us to talk about the approaches that WIDU is using in business coaching. The first approach is, I want to begin from where my brother Simon left. As you know, in WIDU, we have 3 calls. We have the original call, which must have a diaspora connection, whereby the diaspora counterpart or the donor is the one initiating the process. Remember, in this sense, the project belongs to the entrepreneur at home. It doesn't belong to someone in diaspora. The person in diaspora only initiates the application. Once you register, you have an account. Inside that account, you'll have an option of inviting an entrepreneur at home. And as you've heard in the original call, you can invite to a maximum of 3 people at a time. But these people each has a chance to participate 3 times if only they can implement the project according to terms and conditions of WIDU. Now, after you've invited the entrepreneur also has the responsibility to sign in, to give his or her details in the platform, and also to submit a project. Applying for WIDU projects is something that takes only 5 minutes. There's a template that has been designed whereby the entrepreneur enters the investment plan, the projects, everything. So it is something that takes less than 15 minutes to submit a project. So once the entrepreneur has submitted the project, we have the WIDU team in Kenya as well as in Germany. So the WIDU team in Kenya will evaluate, they will moderate that project. If they see the project has the potential to create decent employment, the project has an ability of generating income, then they will send the project to the coach. Now the coach picks up the project, the coach goes through the project to build an understanding, and then the coach does the first step, which is known as pre-coaching call. The coach is going to reach the entrepreneur, they discuss, make introduction, and together agree on the dates based on the convenience of the entrepreneur when the entrepreneur is available. So the coach is, after making the pre-coaching call and agreeing when to meet, now the coach is going to make the first visit based on the date that the entrepreneur has chosen. This first visit, it is called the first session. The coach has 3 sessions. Now, for the first session, the coach is going to conduct verification. If it is a new business, the coach is going to understand where the business location will be. The coach is going to verify the details of the entrepreneur, that includes the name, the identification, and other things. And then the coach is going to discuss the investment plan that the entrepreneur submitted. For example, the entrepreneur wants to do poultry farming. So the coach is going to go through the investment plan, what the entrepreneur intends to do. And the coach will also help the entrepreneur to review the investment plan where need be to make this project sustainable. And then another thing the coach is going to do on the first visit is to sensitize the entrepreneur on the WIDU terms and conditions. What are these terms and conditions? In WIDU, as you've heard, it is guided by integrity. Where we find that the entrepreneur is trying to inflate the cost of some items, maybe they are trying to cheat so that they can use false pretense to get money from WIDU. What the coach normally does, advises the WIDU team to cancel that project. And once the project cancels, we give an entrepreneur another chance to apply again. But now you see it will be scrutinized. And also this entrepreneur is putting the donor, because any person the donor is going to support, WIDU is going to screen that project and they're going to screen this entrepreneur, the donor. So what we normally advise these people, according to WIDU terms and conditions, you must produce official receipts. An official receipt should have the letterhead, the details of the supplier, because in some instances where the coach doubts that there could be a problem with the project, the coach can call the supplier and make inquiries about these things. The coach can go online to find whether this supply exists. And even in any case, the coach finds that there are some instances that someone wants to use false pretense to obtain money, the coach is going to advise WIDU to cancel that project. So these are some of the terms and conditions that the coach is going to sensitize the entrepreneur. And then finally, the main component is to provide business coaching. That is during the first session or the first visit. This business coaching is very key in WIDU. One of the things we normally tackle is financial track records. That is basic bookkeeping. The coach or WIDU invest a lot in taking through the entrepreneurs on basic bookkeeping. We've come to learn that most projects are failing because entrepreneurs are not able to track their revenue, they're not able to track their expenses, they're not able to track their income. So the role of a coach here is going to take through the entrepreneur about basic bookkeeping using simplified language. You're not talking about accounts. WIDU has designed some financial track record templates which are meant to help entrepreneurs to acquire accurate and up-to-date information about the financial position of the project. Also, we are taking through entrepreneurs about the importance of keeping proper business records, which will help these entrepreneurs to monitor progress of their project. Because, most Kenyans, we've come to learn that businesses are failing because entrepreneurs are not able to keep proper business records. So we normally take them through, teach them about the importance of keeping these proper business records after taking them through bookkeeping and providing them with the financial track records, which they can use to keep their records when they do their sales, when they do their expenses. And also the coach is going to take through the entrepreneur the differences, the distinctions between expenses. What are personal expenses? What are business-related expenses, so that they don't mix. And then finally, we have business model canvas. A business model canvas is a roadmap which is going to show the entrepreneur how they can leverage all these things. Like a business model canvas has 8 components. It has maybe what is your market segment, who are your target customers, revenue streams, how are you going to generate money. So we also take through these entrepreneurs with an aim to help them to build a sustainable business. So once the verification has been done, I want you to note this. During the first visit to do verification, we discuss and review the investment plan where need be. We provide sensitization when you do terms and conditions, and then we do business coaching. After all these things has been done and the coach is satisfied that the project is okay, so the coach, before leaving, gives the entrepreneur a go ahead to start investing their joint investments. Now, at that stage, it is the coach who is going to notify or inform the entrepreneur to tell the diaspora donor to send their contribution. So I want you to note this. The diaspora partner only sends money after the coach has made the first visits. That is when the coach is going to give the entrepreneur the go-ahead that you can now implement your joint investment. With WIDU, Simon has took us through. There is WIDU grants, which the entrepreneur is targeting, and we have the joint investment. So for WIDU, the methodology works in this manner. The diaspora donor and the entrepreneur has to invest their money first, their 50%, and then WIDU tops up the 50%. So they must invest their own money first. So the coach gives the entrepreneur a go ahead to receive the money from the donor and then adds his or hers, and then they implement. After implementing, the coach is going to show the entrepreneur how to do documentation. For example, in the case of our poultry farming, the entrepreneur said that his or her money or the joint investment or the private investment is going to construct a chicken structure. So in the investment plan, the entrepreneur said that I'm going to buy this number of iron sheets, this number of ordinary nails. I'm going to invest in this amount of wood. I'm going to buy sand. I'm going to buy cement. And then they quantify that investment plan, which is in the platform, in the WIDU platform. Now the coach will notify this entrepreneur, go and buy all these things and obtain the receipts. And then another term that we normally give entrepreneurs, they must pay via M-Pesa because they need to produce the screenshot of the M-Pesa. And then finally, all items which are purchased above 10,000 shillings, we must see an ETR, electronic remittance tax receipt, because it is a requirement in the government of Kenya that whenever you buy goods beyond 10,000 shillings, the supplier must provide you with the ETR. So we normally require 3 documents from the entrepreneur for each item. Maybe he has gone to buy iron sheet. From the iron sheet, we require the official receipts, we require the screenshot of M-Pesa, and we require an ETR. All these documents, the entrepreneur is going to scan them and upload in the WIDU platform. When doing documentation in the WIDU platform, when providing the accounting documents, there is a space whereby the entrepreneur is allowed to upload all these documents. So after they've done their joint investment or investing their private money, they upload all the receipts in the platform. After uploading the receipts or doing the documentation, they will resubmit the projects in the platform. Now, submitting these projects, the WIDU team in Kenya and even Germany will moderate, they will review. They'll go through all those documents. If they are satisfied that the documents are okay, the project will be sent back to the coach, to the WIDU business coach. The WIDU business coach will go through the documents that has been documented. Then the WIDU coach will contact the entrepreneur for the second time and schedule the second visit. Now, going for the second visit, the coach is going to do verification of the joint investment or verification of the private investment. Now, when the coach will go there, he or she will tell the entrepreneur, last time I was here, you said you're going to buy 10 iron sheets. I'm seeing the receipt. You've provided a receipt of 10 iron sheets. Where are these iron sheets? So the coach will verify that there are 10 iron sheets. The coach will take a photo of the iron sheet. If in the investment plan or the receipts that the entrepreneur has provided, we have maybe 5 kgs of ordinary nails, the coach will take photos of all those items. So verification in this sense means the coach counter-checking the receipts and taking photos of the items that the entrepreneur purchased. And now after that, the coach is going to do the evaluation and monitoring. Is everything okay? And then the coach is going to see the impact or the outcome of this investment. What is the outcome? Then the coach will prepare a report and submit to WIDU. In this case is where I was telling you now, during this second visit, the coach has a mandate to give a green light to WIDU, telling them the project is consistent with the investment plan, or the joint investment or the private investment has been invested in accordance to WIDU terms and conditions or in accordance to the approved investment plan. Then after WIDU team in Kenya reviews, it takes them within 14 days to disburse the WIDU grant. Within 14 days means it can be 2 days, it can be 3 days, it can be 4 days. And this money is wired to the account of the entrepreneur. We normally prefer M-Pesa. So the money is between GIZ in Kenya and the entrepreneur's account, that is M-Pesa. if the coach will have every reason that there's something wrong with this project, there are some discrepancies, there are some gaps, what the coach does, he or she will write to WIDU advising them to cancel or to deny the grant application based on what the entrepreneur has done. So at this second visit, two things will happen. Either the grant will be approved or it will be denied based on how the joint investment or the private investment was invested. If the project is okay, the grant will be disbursed. And once the grant is disbursed, the entrepreneur will have the obligation to invest according to the investment plan. And once he or she is through with the investment of the grants, now he will do documentation the same way he or she did the documentation after receiving the grant. And after doing the documentation, the coach will be sent for the third visit. This third visit, the same thing is going to happen. We are going to do verification of what the WIDU grant was used for. And also we assess the outcome or the impact of these grants. Was the objective achieved? If it was about employment creation, how many jobs were created? What is the difference or maybe variation in income generation per month? And then now we give a report and the project is closed. Now, in the third visit is whereby the coach will advise WIDU or the WIDU team in Kenya to close the project. And if everything is okay, the entrepreneur will get a notification that the project has been closed and he or she can participate a second time. Remember, Simon told you that an entrepreneur can participate to a maximum of 3 times, but an entrepreneur cannot implement more than one project concurrently. He or she must close the first one successfully to be able to participate the second time. But the donor can support 3 projects at a go. He can invite entrepreneur A, entrepreneur B, and entrepreneur C. But now entrepreneur A cannot implement 2 projects at a go. He or she has to close the first one successfully and then participate in the second one. So maybe a recap or a summary, the coach has 3 visits to make. The first visit to go to do verification, to do discussion and review the investment plan, to do sensitization of WIDU terms and conditions, and to provide business coaching, which is the key component that has made WIDU project to be very successful. The second visit is where a coach is going to do verification of the joint investment or private investment, how the entrepreneur was able to implement or to invest the private investment, and also to do evaluation or monitoring of that project. And then after that, the grant will be disbursed or the grant will be denied. And then the third visit is like the repeat of the second session, whereby the coach is going to do the verification of how the WIDU grant was invested, and also to evaluate the outcome of participation. And then if everything is okay, WIDU is going to close the project. But in this third session, if WIDU believes that the entrepreneur did not implement the WIDU grants, WIDU has a right to demand the refunds from the entrepreneur and the donor to refund the WIDU grants. So someone cannot just receive the grant and runs away. We also have a mandate of making these people to reimburse that money, the WIDU grants. So I think, Simeon, I've exhausted everything that I was supposed to do because we are having a power problem in Kenya and I'm worried my phone can go off anytime. That is why I had to summarize everything. But I'll also share the presentation so that Simeon can share with all the participants. So I don't know, maybe if we have questions or Denise, so let me turn it back to you, Simeon.
Thank you so much, Joshua, and for that very, very clear. You can please maybe a sign of appreciation, give him a round of applause. That was really clear. It it really helped to clarify some things. So thank you so much, Joshua. You did a very wonderful job for demystifying the coach, and now people can understand. It's also a form of funds. By the way, you know, these people, they don't go because they love it and they go for free. It's part of that grant, you know. If you can imagine someone going there for those 3 times as a coach, how much that money will be. So let us not just be reduced to the thinking of the 2,500 or 250 that WIDU gives as 50%. Imagine of the amount of money that WIDU dispatches as well, so that those quality skills our entrepreneurs can get on the ground. Thank you so much, Joshua. I want to open maybe the floor for questions. And I want to say, you have seen, these are real people. These are Kenyans. They understand the ground. And one of the things that I want to say, if you find yourself in a place where things are really very difficult to document, let's say umepata mtu wa mchanga, mwenye anataka kuletea mchanga, and they don't have ETR receipts, and you're buying something more than 10,000. I think Joshua will also explain that there is a form of a way to document that you really paid through M-Pesa. Again, M-Pesa. If you're really doing everything to show that you're trying your best, regardless the shortages, regardless the difficulties, and you're really showing that you are trying your best to show that documentation. These people will not say, we want ETR receipts. No, these are people who understand the situation, the places where you are operating. So maybe you can do all the best you can to document wherever you are. So I just want to open, and thank you so much, Joshua, for giving this. You have really proven that you are really the best, the best coach on the ground. Keep up the good work. We appreciate you. And let me open the floor. Anyone with a question directed to Joshua or to me, and then we can move on. And if we would like to leave, we will also leave him because of the challenges. I appreciate, maybe even through our own engagement here, we might solve the problems back home through renewable energies. So a question to him. Now, maybe for, I see written things. Thank you so much, Joshua. Appreciation so much. Now I have a clearer picture of the whole process. Thank you very much for this detailed explanation, Joshua. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joshua. So those are the Kenyan diaspora appreciating your clarity and explaining it very much. So at the end of the day, actually, nothing happens if you don't start applying. So thank you so much, Joshua, again for that. Anyone with a question, please? And then maybe if that was a very informative, thanks a lot. Yes, Rubina, please go ahead. The mic is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Joshua, very, very much. That was very clear, very informative, and very educative. Now, my question is, like you said, when the project closes out, then you can do another project. There may be a case where you are doing a project, but you feel you've not done as much as you wanted to do. Once it closes out, can you continue again with the same project, or you always have to start a new project? Thank you.
Thank you, Rubina.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rubina, for that question. Actually, what we normally advise entrepreneurs is to do a scale-up of our projects. For example, let me use the poultry project that someone has. Maybe someone has begun a poultry project. They're buying chicks, which are 1 month old, to begin the project. So we normally advise them during the second session. We tell them, why don't you buy an incubator? Instead of going to buy chicks 1 month old, then you'll be hatching your own chicks. You can sell the chicks to the neighbors. At the same time, we try to encourage them to do feeds production. Because you see now in agriculture in Kenya, the major challenge that entrepreneurs are facing in agriculture, the cost of feeds are very expensive. So if someone maybe is beginning poultry for the first grant, or maybe they are doing pigs project, or maybe they are doing cattle. So the second round, we normally advise them to do feeds production. They buy machines like grinder, they buy mixer, and they buy maybe other things, so that it reduces the cost of operation, because they spend a lot of money in buying feeds. So they can do a scale up in the second round. In the third round, someone can do value addition. Maybe if someone was doing dairy farming, we now advise them to do value addition, to do yogurts, and we give them everything, business plan, how they can do yogurts, how they can apply for government certifications, like going to cabs, taking their goods to supermarkets. So actually what we normally encourage is a scale up. But if at some point we realize that in the second session the project is okay, they can deviate to go to something else. But mostly for a project to become sustainable, it needs to be scaled up. So, but if the project is not productive, if the project is not doing very well, we normally advise them to drop that project and come up with another project. Because an example is, we have this person who was doing beehive projects, and he was targeting to do 200 beehives. So with their private investment, they were able to do 100 beehives, and they were applying for grants to do another 100 beehives, and also to do value addition to begin packaging and other things. But in the middle of the project implementation, they realized that bees were not able to colonize the other beehives, which they had bought using the private investment. Now, when I went there, in such instances, we do 4 visits, not 3 now. We add another visit of going to evaluate what is the way forward. If the entrepreneur has another idea that they can invest the grant in, we now focus on the other project. For this entrepreneur, he's based in Kisumu, and we realized that the entrepreneur had another project. He was doing fish cage farming, but he had not applied for fish cage farming because we saw the chances of the beehives to succeed were very minimal. We advised him, because he had received the grant. We told him, we can allow you to invest this grant in the other project, which is very sustainable. So for your question, Rubina, it is okay. We normally encourage for a scale up. And if the project second round, it reaches a good point, then the third round, the entrepreneur can go to something else. I think I've answered that one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question, Rubina, and answer. I'm seeing Marcela. Just before, again, maybe Marcela comes in. Please tell your entrepreneurs not to start changing themselves. They should be in touch with the coach on the ground before changing anything. Otherwise, then you are entering into troubles. So, and I think Joshua explained very well. Let them be in contact with the coach on the ground, then they can advise the way around, the way forward. Marcela.
Thank you very much for that insightful session. I have really learned a lot. My question is about reimbursement. Okay. Joshua, you mentioned at the end of the presentation that WIDU has a right to claim back the grant in case the project has not been implemented as it should have. My question is, in the case of natural calamities, for example, someone started an agriculture business and then there is an infestation from locusts, for example, they eat all the vegetables of the field, and the project does not work well. So does WIDU also, like, WIDU can ask for reimbursement, but how about the donor? Can the donor also get reimbursement? Like, is there an insurance policy for projects that are cut down by conditions that are beyond the control of the entrepreneur and the donor? Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Marcella, for your question. There are two things I think I got. One of them, what happens in the event of natural calamity, and then also the issue of reimbursement or insurance. So what I can say is that WIDU puts into consideration the issues of natural calamities. I can give an example like in Kisumu. There is a project which was supported by WIDU. It was doing fish cage farming. I don't know whether you are able to see what happened in Kisumu, whereby fish farmers lost over millions of fish. I think there was an intoxication in the lake, and over 100 cages were able to lose their harvests. And we had a number of projects there which were supported by WIDU, nearly 5, and all of them, there was no harvest because all the fish in those cages died, and it affected a good number of people. So in that instances, WIDU considers, and they don't claim any refund for the grant because those entrepreneurs had received the grant. What WIDU normally does in such a situation, they normally advise entrepreneur to participate again, but there's no way that WIDU can compensate such issues. But when coach goes to coach entrepreneurs in the ground, you normally tell them in the investment plan to consider insuring the projects. Like if someone is doing farming, we normally tell them in the investment plan, make sure you allocate some money, especially the WIDU grant, allocate some money for insurance. And most farmers nowadays, or even the mechanics, or even general shops, they normally insure their businesses. So in the investment plan, when they are submitting an investment plan to WIDU, or when the coach comes and they realize that the entrepreneur forgot maybe to factor in things like insurance, business permit, the KEBS, the NEMA certification, because WIDU also encourages people to formalize their businesses, because most of the businesses or projects supported by WIDU in Kenya are informal businesses. And we are trying hard to support these businesses to formalize their businesses. So you see now the issue of insurance comes in, telling them, please consider insuring your business so that in case of a natural calamity, like there is a fire, maybe famine comes in and people are not able to invest, they can get insured. But WIDU itself cannot insure any business. They cannot compensate anyone. But in the case that an entrepreneur decides to get the money and runs away, so WIDU will make a follow-up telling these people to refund grants. But now for donor, the part that you send this person at home, there's no way WIDU can assist you to reclaim your money, because remember, the person you are supporting is someone you are acquainted with, either a friend or a family. There's a trust. So when you are at the moment that you decide that I'm going to support this person, either he or she is your relative or your friend. If you send them your private investment and they decide to run away with that money, there's no way WIDU can assist you to help you get back your money. Because remember, you are supporting this person because you've been supporting them sending money home. But now WIDU is supporting you to redirect this diaspora remittance into sustainable projects. Because you've been giving them money, they've been eating, going for leisure and doing other things. But now this project is supporting you as a donor to help you redirect your diaspora remittance into sustainable project. So the first one is, for calamities, natural calamities, WIDU takes into consideration. Far be it from that,
Hello.
insurance. So I think I've answered it, or maybe if anything else, you can let me know so that I can give you more details. Thank you so much, Marcella.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Marcella, for that question. On your second question, which you just typed, is it follows the same round, just like the first one. I think whether the second participation does the donor reinvest again. Maybe you want to touch on that, Joshua? Just.
Okay, yes. For the second application, the procedure is the same like the first one. The only thing that is not happening is that the donor doesn't register again. The donor goes to the account, signs in, goes to the account, and then there's an option of invite an entrepreneur. You invite the second person. The process is still the same. The coach, now when the coach goes for the second session, the coach treats this one as something new. Even if it is a scale-up, the coach doesn't go there as a scale-up. The coach is going as a new project that doesn't have an attachment with the first project. Because once WIDU closes a project, WIDU doesn't follow that project anymore. It belongs to the entrepreneur. WIDU can only visit a project when they are going to do success stories. They're just going to do success stories to see the impact and how the diaspora connection has contributed to promotion of employment creation, or maybe they're going to do spot check. But now once a project is closed, WIDU doesn't have any attachment with that project. But for the next 6 months, WIDU can visit the project. But after 6 months, it is no longer a WIDU project. Now, for the second participation for the entrepreneur, we are treating this one as a new project, even if it is a scale-up. The process will begin again. The coach will make a pre-visit call. The coach will go for the first coach session. The coach will go to the second session, and the coach will have to go for the third session. In the first session, the coaching session that coach is going to provide, maybe the coach during the first session identified that this person needs digital marketing skills. Now the coach is going to teach this person about digital marketing skills. The coach will not dwell in the basic bookkeeping unless the entrepreneur requests that last time I was not able to grasp this thing well. Then the coach will do that. But now this second participation, we treat the project as a new application. We don't attach it to the first project, and the cycle is the same. The donor will have to send the contribution after the coach has left, and it continues. The coach will go for the second session to do verification and the third session to do the verification. So yes, the donor will have to send his share. But now we are talking about the original call, which requires diaspora connection. But as you've heard, we have thematic calls like food security. For the food security, it was just closed the other day. I don't know whether we'll have a scale-up. For food security, it didn't require diaspora connection. Anyone in Kenya who had a project that promoted food security and the project had existed for at least 6 months could just go to the platform, registers, and get the money without a diaspora connection. But the one in question now, we are talking about the original call, which requires a diaspora connection. So the process is the same. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Joshua. I have another question which was written by Irene Ojok. Ojok is an interesting name. Ojok, you will tell us where you are seated. What is the average time for mentorship or encouragement between the parties getting businesses to sustainability? Takes to, what was that? Takes a bit of time. Maybe Ojok, I can give you the latitude to ask again in your own words if you want to.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm speaking from Bonn. So
great.
My question was probably I may not have got the earlier part of the presentation because I joined a little late. But I've just heard from your last statement something like 6 months. So it means a project takes about 6 months. So is there an assumption that getting a business idea or an entrepreneur to a point you call sustainability, 6 months is really sufficient? or how does this work? Because if you're mentoring someone, I think visiting 2 or 3 times may not necessarily be sufficient, or it's just building on people who already have good ideas and they are not necessarily requiring support.
Thank you, Irene.
Okay. Okay. So sorry, Simeon.
Go ahead.
For
Go ahead.
WIDU, the implementation period of a WIDU project is a maximum of 6 months. And for the last 3 to 4 years, we've seen it is practical. Like now, any project that someone is implementing, it should not exceed 6 months. If someone is doing chicken project, it also depends on the preparedness of the entrepreneur and the donor. Because what we've seen about delay, sometimes the diaspora counterpart is ready to send his or her portion, but the entrepreneur at home is not ready. So it is going to delay the project. But if they have cash, it's possible to complete a project. We are talking about within 6 months, but it depends on the nature of the project. Some projects can be implemented within 3 weeks. It is closed. Others 1 month, it is closed. The projects that have gone for long that I've seen does not exceed 3 months based on the nature. So most of them, they go to 1 month, 2 months, at most 3 months. And also entrepreneurs are implementing it swiftly so that they can participate 3 times. So the 6 months is practical. And I've seen these entrepreneurs completing the project within 6 months. I didn't get the second part of the question. Maybe Simeon, what was the second part?
I think the second part from Irene was she was actually questioning whether those visits in terms of 3 are enough. But I think you've answered it very well.
Okay. About the visits, the entrepreneur is at liberty to contact the coach anytime. They can schedule an online session. But now the physical sessions that WIDU is able to pay, remember they are paying for this coach. They're using, WIDU is using a lot of money to facilitate this coach. This is an expert. His time needs to be compensated, traveling and doing all these things. Because, for example, take an example like me now, Joshua. I live in Eldoret town and I do projects in Rift Valley, I do in Nairobi, other parts. So WIDU has to pay for my flights from Eldoret to Lodwar, to some parts in refugee camps called Kakuma. I stay there for 3 days. WIDU has to facilitate my 3 days. They need to pay me for my services and coming back. So you see, because of cost implications, WIDU can only support 3 physical sessions. But the coach can organize sessions with the entrepreneur virtual, and they can discuss. But where the entrepreneur is lucky, maybe he or she lives within the vicinity where the coach comes, the coach can go there as many times as they can. But the 3 physical visits we're talking about are the ones that are being catered for by WIDU. So I think I've answered that. And these sessions are very extensive. Like the first visit takes between 3 to 6 hours. It is the whole class compressing all these things. So the first visit takes 3 to 6 hours. The second visit takes 3 to 4 hours. The third visit takes 3 to 4 hours. So it's very comprehensive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joshua. And I think maybe just to add on that, really, if someone is really after something and need an input from a coach, from an expert, and they're really meaning to implement, I think 6 months is a good time, as he said. Leave alone even the cost factor of facilitating this coach. But someone who really believes in what they do, that unless you are doing into, let's say, science, research, then that is a different case. Whether it will be, again, pass through the scrutiny of evaluating whether it is funded by WIDU or not. But if it is a project that has to be implemented, meeting all those criteria that were already said, then 6 months actually is sufficient. So thank you for that question, Irene. Let me move to Pastor Tila.
Yes, thank you so much, Joshua. Sorry, my connection at one point just disappeared, and but I caught a good portion of the presentation. Asante Sana for the good work, and Simon, Asante for facilitation, and everyone on the platform for your contributions and questions. My question is very simple. I wanted to get a little clarification in regard to when you talk about implementation of the project with these timeframes we are looking at. Do you mean the launch of the project, or because it's an ongoing business concern? So this 3-month period or 6 months outer limit, we are talking about launch, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. That's my first question. Probably I'll ask the second one after you answer this one.
Okay, thank you so much, Tila. The 6 months project implementation we are talking about is from the first visit when the coach went to the ground, because that is the day that coach is going to tell entrepreneur, you can begin today your investment now. That is day one. The project is beginning now. So from that time going forward, it should not exceed 6 months. And we have ongoing projects which are scaling up, and we have startups which are beginning from the ground. For ongoing projects, we are counting from the moment that WIDU comes in. The day coach comes to the ground, does the first coaching, finishes the business coaching and everything, sensitizing the entrepreneur. Now the coach will tell the entrepreneur, begin. Now WIDU will just come in from the time it came to support this business. We are aware that it is an ongoing business, it is scaling up, but now WIDU is interested from that moment. Even when WIDU is coming to count the number of employments that has been created, it will not count the existing employees. WIDU will only look at the employees who has been the employment that has been created when WIDU came in. Maybe, for example, this is an ongoing project which it had 5 employees. But now when these entrepreneurs are applying in this platform, there's a question they are being asked. How many employees do you think your project will create? Maybe someone says 2. So when we are assessing and evaluating, we want to see whether this project was able to create 2. Because if it is an existing business, there's a question will be asked. How many employees do you have currently? How much do you generate averagely per month in this existing business? Now, when you'll be coming for the second and third, we want to see whether the project was able to create employment for the 2. We're not interested with the 5 that were there. If it is a new business, now we are beginning it from where we started. So I think I've answered that one.
Okay. Asante sana for that one. Now, a follow-up question, probably which you have answered partly, was on an existing business, which apparently, when you're coming to do your evaluation, the first visit, you do an assessment of the business on ground, and is it at that point that you are able to give feedback to the entrepreneur on ground that, well, this particular project is viable and could be admissible within wider kind of constraint? Or at what point do they know this? Or because it would be needless or pointless for them to have that presumptive kind of move on, whereby they think, okay, yes, things are going on, and then they gather their finances and everything, and then it's a no go kind of situation. I don't know if I've been clear enough, or maybe I've just been nazunguka na maneno tu.
No, thank you. Nimekupata vizuri sana. We normally give instant feedback. The feedback is given, it is an instant feedback. After we just come, the coach does the first visit, does the sessions. Before the coach leaves, he normally gives an instant feedback. The first one is, your project is okay. Go ahead with your joint or private investment. And can you tell the donor to send you his or her portion? and then go ahead with the project. And after investment, the coach is also going to inform the entrepreneur how he or she is going to do documentation on the platform. So the feedback is instant feedback during the first visits. Thank you.
Asante sana. And then, sorry that I'm talking a lot. Nilikula kaseta asubuhi. If the entrepreneur apparently has his investment in terms of, say, equipment. For example, mtu anataka kufanya welding, mambo ya welding, and then an acquire equipment as their own portion of the investment. You can receipts, obviously, and whatever. Is that admissible as his part of contribution? Kwa sababu anaweza kuwa anataka dona alete their portion kuweza ku rent a premises for 6 months and then with that to whatever it is, so that I facilitate other things.
Asijui kama unaongelea kama in-kind contribution ama what do you mean?
Sasa naangalia project.
Yes.
Entrepreneur on ground anataka ku enda seme to katika mambo ya welding, for instance, ama metal work, ama woodwork, yeah. Negotiate mashini mahali, anataka kuzinunua, and then eventually after kupatiana proposal na kila kitu na kusema na coach, then ana acquire the machine as part of the investment, part of input, ile at 25%. Can the machines ana acquire can they be accounted, or are they admissible as his 25% contribution?
Okay, we can only accept receipts from the day yenye coach alienda. Hiyo time yenye coach anaambia entrepreneur go ahead, because now remember we have an investment plan during application. At the application stage, this investment plan is a template that is in the platform, whereby it has 2 sections. The first section is private investment, ama joint investment. The second section is WIDU grant. So under joint investment, entrepreneur anasema pesa yetu tutafanya XYZ na dona. Mukitupea pesa yenu ya WIDU tutafanya XYZ. So siku yenye coach anakuja hiyo day 1, ataambia entrepreneur watadiscuss kwanza hiyo investment plan. Then kama kila kitu yuko sawa, coach amwambie kuanzia leo hii vitu yote mumeandika kwa investment plan kwamba mtafanya na your joint investment. Begin it now na mfanye documentation. So hatuwezi chukua item yenye entrepreneur alinunua before aingie kwa WIDU.
Yes,
we only
yes,
concentrate
anainunua after negotiate tu na
yes.
negotiate na Ondieki pale. Ondieki akasema mimi nitamuuzia, then
yes.
Sa ile WIDU washazungumza, then anaenda ahead, ananunua kutoka kwa Ondieki, analeta into the project.
No, that's perfect, so long as receipt ni hiyo time hiyo today yenye coach ameenda. Hata kama atenda kununua, let's say coach ameenda hapo asubuhi, wakamaliza session saa 8 na coach amemwambia go ahead, anezenda na anunue na sometimes the diaspora donor is allowed to send the entrepreneur pesa hata kama coach ajaenda, even before coach goes for the first visit. Lakini now expenditure, we need expenditure receipts ionekane from your day enye coach ameenda, and the items going to be invested should be new things, si ile yenye ilikuwa kwa biashara. So I'm getting you, anaweza kuwa negotiate before coach aende, which doesn't have a problem. Kila mtu entrepreneurs are allowed wende window shopping, waone watapata wapi discount after project imekuwa approved, so that once coach amempea go ahead, anaweza hata hiyo day tu na anunue hiyo day na afanye documentation similar day. It is acceptance.
Okay, but
now,
Meaning that pia nani dona hapa anaweza fanya nini? Anaweza nunua mashini hapa akamtumia nani entrepreneur kule chini.
Now the only problem now WIDU doesn't cover mambo ya custom duties.
No.
Because you can set a machine, it's allowed.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
But maybe just to Tila, I get your point. But maybe just to simplify, remember one of the things, and I know your questions because most probably you didn't get the prior sessions that we had. Remember that at the end of the day, WIDU also wants to see is the remittance flow. Okay. The other part is, and I think Joshua wanted to say that is, WIDU doesn't want to do, partitioned importation of whatever reason. So the other thing, and that I'm always advising the diaspora here, where it can get complicated, leave it. If you're going to get the 3. So, and I've understood you, at the end of the day, which Joshua said also, which is very important, if you can send your money and get ready for the diasporans, for the entrepreneur to show that there was a flow of money, then you can do even earlier on, but keep the remittance documentation. Yeah. And another thing that is very important as well is, don't invest before you are given a go-ahead. Of course, you can do, but in the case where maybe Joshua as a coach comes around and say, then of course that is your business and you're an entrepreneur, you can go ahead, but then you risk tying up your liquidity, because it is better, and it refers to your first question. It's better to wait until you have the coach to give you a go-ahead to invest. So I hope with the importation of goods towards Kenya, it might be good, but I will say, knowing that, let's say you want to send a machine, a German machine from here for welding, and want to put that as part of your 25%. It might be good, but I would rather say let the
umepotea Simon.
And umepotea is a minute. Let the entrepreneur buy those machines on the ground than you sending machines from
it. Okay.
Yeah, I hope yes. So
nimekupata kwa sababu nilikuwa I was of the opinion that German machines ni nzuri, so nataka kupeleka German machine huko kwa sababu najua itakuwa long lasting kwa biashara.
Yeah. But there is also another part that we want to do. We want to increase our economy as such. We want to leave the what do we call, value chain on the ground as well. I mean, there is nothing wrong with the German machine, but we want to see this flow of remittance on the ground. And let's say another thing that we want to do as well is to increase our industries on the ground.
I think also maybe to add on that, what normally we do see is cost effectiveness.
Yes.
Cost in relation to, because initially we had this challenge whereby someone is importing some goods kutoka nje, and we got some challenges. One, it might take long for that item to come. Number two, if you compare that item Kenya na mali natoka huko, it would have been cheaper huyu mtu kununua Kenya na kuendelea na implementation ya project haraka. So for WIDU found that it is easier when you buy it in Kenya. That is cost effectiveness, looking at the cost and the benefits. But it's allowed to do also the importation. But now again, we don't encourage the donor to be the one buying these things. Because remember, the project belongs to the entrepreneur. It doesn't belong to the donor.
Yes.
Where WIDU finds that there is the donor does a lot of things, then there's an interference. It's like the donor is using the entrepreneur to do his investment huko nyumbani. Tumekuwa na cases mahali
Yes.
donor anatumia watu nyumbani. Hii project kumbe si entrepreneur. The donor comes up with an idea, tells the brother or the cousin, I want you to help me invest these projects at home. Inakuwa the project as entrepreneur ni huyu jamaa huko ana invest kivyake. Kama kuna jamaa huko Homa Bay tulipata hiyo shida, no Migori. This guy mobilized people in Germany. Akapea watu pesa wanatuma, tunafikiria projects, but the projects were similar. And in this platform ya WIDU, wewe kama donor unaweza angalia chenye entrepreneur anafanya. You can log in your accounts and you can check the activities that the entrepreneur is doing. So it was the donor who was doing applications. Si hata nini. So the IP address inaonyeshanga that this project was edited in Germany, Austria, or maybe Nigeria. So in such instances, WIDU can cancel the project. So we want to see the sense of ownership from the entrepreneur. But in some cases, you find that entrepreneur, when you're anafanya a project, entrepreneur ajui nini, ajui kutumia hiyo platform. So we encourage them, wewe kama donor utaandika kwamba, this project belongs to my mother, the idea belongs to my mother, but unfortunately, he or she is not a IT service, so I'll be assisting her. So it is allowed. But whenever we see the IP address, maybe it's from Germany, Austria, Belgium, so we have all the reasons to cancel the project. But before the application, you can notify WIDU that the person who is participating at home ana hiyo skills ya IT. So jirani, ama mtoto wetu, ama mimi mwenyewe ndakuwa namsaidia. It is allowed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was very important as well, that we cautioned the diaspora in the beginning. Let the entrepreneur on the ground also internalize what you are both of you doing. And because coach anaenda anauliza, so what did you think with this thing? Anakuambia, no, sijui hata hii vitu ilitoka kwa Irene, ni vitu vyake. So at the end of the day, hiyo kitu itakuwa imezama. So what we just want to say before I give you Irene is that of course, we do understand that you're building business for the family. And of course, if you're a member of that family, if it belongs to your mother, these are the things that we were discussing when we were there alone. That this is a family issue, and of course, you belong to that family and you want to support. You are contributing the other 25% for your mother, and it is you who contributes because atapata wapi 25. It is clear that it is you. So you will be contributing for your mother, but let the project or the business be internalized by your person on the ground. When it comes to cases like dealing with the platform, as Joshua said, take a disclaimer, write to WIDU already. My mother is not IT conversant. I will be helping, or I have placed one of this person to act on our behalf. Then you will do another documentation with them, IT number, whatever. This is a person who will be acting on behalf of my mother. So we just want to, maybe I'm seeing because of the interest of time, I want to give Irene
or maybe Irene can ask and then I can wrap up with something, because my phone will be going off anytime.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Irene, yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So mine is just a comment or question which you can choose to respond to. In your experience in the last maybe 3 or 4 years, have you had any complaints from the entrepreneurs as far as, I mean, I already perceive the coaches are powerful people because they determine to a larger extent by their physical presence and assessment, whether you get through the project or not. We have seen in the previous time walikuwa wapeo his pesa, people ended up circumventing, and then, you know, Kenya, how things have happened. So do you have any a system that can, you know, control for such scenarios or ensure that there's fairness through the process? Or people can complain on either end so that we don't have gods or goddesses?
Thank you for that question, Irene. I think that is a very honest question. Joshua.
Irene, sikupata swali lako vizuri. Do you mean complaints like
okay, let me
yes.
reframe it, Joshua. I think the worry of the diaspora and sometimes and others have been that maybe the coaches are too powerful, and sometimes because of the Kenyan nature, that some people could even end up becoming or soliciting, you know, like favors, because they you know, they have the power to determine whether your project goes through or not. So what just Irene is asking actually, do we have a mechanism whereby the entrepreneurs or the diaspora counterparts or the diaspora family can complain against the coaches? Because either, you know, and I think this is also a question that has arrived sometime, that, you know, coaches are becoming too powerful and they can decide just to rubbish you. Maybe just for your experience, and how have you experienced yourself?
Okay, Irene, thank you so much for that question. If you see at the WIDU platform, it is an application. It is written, WIDU application is free. The coaching is free. There is no money which is required at any stage. Secondly, the coaches are signing terms of service. If WIDU gets to know that there is something that happened, that a coach tried to extort money from the entrepreneur, that is a crime, and a legal action will be taken against that coach. So for donors, or maybe the diaspora counterparts, there is an email address that WIDU normally shares, and they tell you that in case of any complaint, please reach us. And WIDU is very strict. That is code of conduct. If someone violates it, it is very, very serious. Remember also, these coaches, these are professionals. They are experts, and they know, because sometimes you go to the ground, an entrepreneur decides to give you a gift, which is not bad. It's an African culture. You visit someone in Western, and the moment you want to leave, they give you a chicken, a live chicken. Will you refuse it, or are you going to take it? Because we are Kenyans, we are Africans. So coaches have been trained to detect when a gift becomes a bribe, and a gift should not exceed how much. Because you find that an entrepreneur maybe wants to manipulate you. You've gone there for the second session, maybe to do the verification of the private investment. And this person knows that she or he has not invested the money well. They use their money, or maybe they inflated the cost of the items. So the moment you reach there, someone tells you, I want to take you lunch, someone gives you 10,000 or 5,000 shillings as transport. It doesn't make sense for someone to give you 10 or even 15,000 as a fare, or someone takes you to an hotel to manipulate you. But what I can tell you, we've never gotten a complaint that a coach has tried to request money from an entrepreneur so that they can give a good report. If that happens, it is a crime, and an action can be taken against that coach. But what we've been seeing is vice versa, whereby an entrepreneur wants to manipulate the coach, and you can detect that. You just go to visit a project, an entrepreneur is very jovial, inviting you, they treat you very well, they give you a lot of money as fare, they give you a lot of things. So in such instances, the coach detects that there is a problem with this project. So the coach will become very strict, does his or her work. The beauty is the coach does not give an instant feedback regarding a project which is going to be cancelled. The coach will do his work, goes, writes the reports, and then advises WIDU that this project has some gaps. and that is when the WIDU team will cancel that project. But we have the mechanisms for reporting. As a donor, you can raise a complaint that I'm told the coach requested for some money from the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur can as well as write to WIDU, telling WIDU that the coach came and the coach told me to pay for his fare or maybe to give a favor in order to my project to be approved. So there are mechanisms in place and it is very serious. So I think I've answered that, Irene.
Thank you so much, okay, Joshua.
So maybe the last one, because I want to leave.
Yes, please.
I want to tell the participants something about WIDU. WIDU is a transformative power that personally I've seen it changing lives in Kenya. And I want to ask these participants to mobilize Kenyans. I've realized most Kenyans are not aware about kwamba WIDU ina exist. Na wengine wenye wanajua WIDU ina exist, kuna mwingine juzi nimemwongelesha akasema hii ni scam. Akasema you people want to steal my money. You people want to report me to Germany nifukuzwe nikwe deported. I can understand. There's that project that Nani ameongelea about pigs. There's this woman in Bondo, I don't know kama ako ni among the participants, anaitwa Christine. Christine began a pigs project in a funny way. Akaanza nikaenda kumfanyia coaching. And then I told Christine before she began, I told her that I know someone in Eldoret who has done very successful pigs projects. Christine came, went to my friend with his farm manager, and they were beginning from scratch. So what they did, Christine bought 5 pigs, 3 served and 2 male, na akaanza projects. By the time I was going for the second visit 2 months, alikuwa na 67 pigs from 5. By the time I was going to close the project, she had 240 pigs. Alipo apply the second time, nikamwambia now, I want you to apply feeds production because pigs zinakula sana. Na aka-apply, na ikaenda successfully. Akatengeneza locally fabricated machines za kuproduce feeds. Now, alianza kulisha pigs wake na feeds zake, and she started supplying feeds to agrovet and farmers. Because the machines were very okay, many people began buying feeds from her because feeds zake zilikuwa zinafanya animals zinagrow haraka. Now, another call called Green Call came. Green Call was supporting projects zilikuwa zina mitigate mambo na environment. I advised Christine to apply for organic manure production. She applied na akapata. Right now, from the same project of pigs, she's generating biogas, she's packaging organic manure, na anafanya drip irrigation. Now, she wants to participate the last one. She wants to do sausage making. Anze ku compete na Farmer's Choice. I may identify machine, and very soon she'll be doing value addition. Christine right now has a very big lorry which goes to buy raw materials wanatengeneza chakula. Christine has employed more than 24 people. Decent employment. In one cell, accuses of pigs anauzanga between 800,000 to 900,000. She is super rich. So this is one of the projects I'm giving, but there are many I've seen. They may transform lives within WIDU. So I'm encouraging participants, embrace this thing, support many people at home, mobilize Kenyans who doesn't know to be ambassadors wa kupeana injili, wajue about WIDU. It is the only way out from poverty na ignorance ya kusaidia watu wetu. So maybe I'll beg to leave because my phone is going off. Maybe next time I'll be glad also to participate. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you so much, Simeon. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Give him a round of applause, please. This is incredible information. And we want to thank you for we can't give you any gift because it may amount to some, so we just want to thank you for that. So Joshua, we as a diaspora family, we want to really, really thank you. And soon we will ask you again to come around. We will give our diasporans here basic information, first of all, on the application side, and then we iron out with you as well. Thank you so much. We can thank you more than what we can. Thank you, my brother. We can leave him and then we can just finalize slowly. Thank you so much, Joshua. I'll get back to you. So, Jameni, I think we are done for today. I'm so happy that we got this guest today. He has ironed out some information that sorry, I had muted myself, sorry. I want to thank you for being here, and I want to ask you again, let's give these words again to everyone else who hasn't. I want to give you maybe a second just to maybe final touch and maybe a thinking, and then we close it. I will start with Pastor Tila. One thing, don't get to, and then we go around like this. Remember, our intention is to encourage ourselves.
Sawa sawa, asante sana, Simon.
Karibu.
Date of next meeting ni lini?
Ni Tuesday na Thursday. Tuesday, Thursday. On Sunday, I can tackle some Q&A. If no one comes, it's okay. If someone comes, it's fine. Same time, same link.
Okay, Tuesday, Thursday.
Exactly.
Sawa sawa.
Thank you so much.
We will do our best.
It was great to have you. Next time you come with your other part, your sister, your brother, your whoever. Don't come alone.
I will do that. I will do that.
Thank you so much. Jennifer.
Okay, barikiwa sana.
Barikiwe.
Yes, Bwana Simon, I'm just so grateful. It was really, really enlightening listening to Joshua, because at least that's completes the other piece. Exactly. And yeah, I'm just very grateful. He's answered a lot of things and cleared a lot of questions I had on what happened on the ground. Sasa mimi nauliza to share the link, because at least if people join the information forum, watasambaza hii nini habari. So just share with us the link, and you can give us also the link in the forum to share with some other diasporans.
It's already here. I'm copying it again and re-pasting it. Yeah. So anyone who can see, that is the same link we are using.
No, for people to get into the WhatsApp information forum.
WhatsApp. Okay. Thank you for that as well. Yeah.
And link ya presentation you recorded nini itakuwa nzuri pia.
Yes, I'm putting all the recordings in one place so that we can access in the future as well. I will share the link again. So asante sana. Thank you, Jennifer. Joseph, just one word as we wrap up. We're encouraging ourselves to talk, to encourage, because we are multipliers. Joseph, just a word. Okay, I jump Joseph, I go to Cleophas. Cleophas, maybe if you have a word just for your final touch. Okay, Cleophas, most probably you haven't unmuted yourself.
Thanks, Bwana Kirui. I've been following and it's really informative. Joshua ametufunza sana. It's clarity, information, and everything. It's really nice. Actually, to be honest, Joshua is one of the coaches of my entrepreneurs I've been supporting near Eldoret.
Wow, great.
And Fire. And actually, the feedback there is really nice. Positive feedback. They like what he's doing.
Very good. Asante sana.
Yeah.
So our part is only to share and we make the changes we need. Thank you. Rubina. You can unmute. Okay. Rubina most probably is... okay.
Hello? I'm
yes.
here.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm here. No,
Yes,
I'm okay.
Rubina.
I just want to appreciate the session. We thank you for giving us this opportunity to learn and know what's going on out there. And yeah, we look forward to benefit of this. Some of us remember, like from our last meeting, I'm still looking for a contact. I'm working on it.
Great. Thank you, Rubina. Next time, inform someone else. Just share.
I will. I already did. I already did.
Asante,
3 people
asante.
here.
Asante.
All right, yeah.
More
Very good.
if you can. I see.
Okay.
Yes. More. Are you able to? I see MO. If you can't, I will move to, there are 2 Rubinas, but I guess it's the same. Take note, that is Lydia from Kenya. I appreciate your presence. If you want to say something, and then I move to Annie. Lydia, you can unmute if you can. If you cannot, it's also fine. I move to Annie.
Asante sana Mr. Simon. Leo nimesikia hii habari inakuwa mzuri, hata kulingana vile Joshua ameongea, watu wale tuko hapa diaspora inatupa surety. Hii kazi inaendelea vizuri pande hiyo ingine. Asante sana.
Thank you. Thank you, Annie. Teresia. Okay, then I move to Paul Cassidy. Maybe if you can just a word, and then as we move on. Okay. More.
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening.
Paul, who is speaking?
Yes, good evening, please. Unanisikia?
Yes. Who is that?
Yes, I just wanted to thank you so much for the session.
Yeah.
And it was very, very informative. Thank you so much. And yes, it's my first time here, so I hope I've gathered a lot of information na ninashukuru sana. So I'm looking for the way forward. Thank you.
More, where are you and where are you joining us from?
I'm in Germany. Yes.
Okay, maybe your name, just your name.
Oh, yes, Maureen.
Maureen, okay, Maureen.
Yes.
I'm just writing
Yes.
because it was difficult for me to know Mohammed. Okay, karibu sana. It was good to have you here.
Yes. Sawa.
Karibu sana. Paul.
Thank you.
CD.
Yes. Evening to you.
Good evening.
It was having you guys in the meeting. It was my first time. Our friend shared this link with me.
Yes.
I thought it was yesterday, but I was informed it is today. I'm in Elred. I'm so much happy with this project, and I'm looking forward of getting a partner abroad so that we can partner and do amazing project.
Great.
I have an e-commerce idea, and I would like someone to come on board, so that we can do the project.
Great. Thank you so much.
I'm looking
Paul.
forward to it. Okay, thank you so much.
Karibu sana, be consistent. When we have these sessions come around, then people will know you. They will create some, relationship with you. That is the basis of it. John. Okay, John, I usually at work. Let me run to Josie Kinya. John, yes, endelea.
Asante sana, Simon. I think today's discussion was an eye-opener and a good insight into the operations of WIDU and how the entrepreneur and the diaspora part can link up and even do greater things back in Kenya.
Thank
Our
you.
prayer is just to continue praying for our teams in Kenya that trust and accountability is found in them.
For sure. Thank you, Joe.
Asanteni sana.
Asante sana. Let's mobilize other Kenyans. We will want to have one with the Netherlands, and you will be helping us. I think you're a good team. So that we can have another informative session with this, like this. Asante. Josie.
Thank you. This session has really been a very informative one. I really appreciate. I have been joining.
Yes.
And up to now, I think you can hear me.
Yes, continue.
Yeah, I have been joining, and up to now, I feel like today I understand more. Every day it's a learning day.
Great.
I am looking forward to finding a partner to invest with.
Sure. Thank you so much, Josie.
Welcome.
Alvin. Alvin, if you can.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Alvin Amani. I'm based in Mtwapa, Kilifi, Kenya. This is my first time here. I was invited by a friend of mine, and he told me I would learn a lot. The first session has been very good. I'm looking forward to the next and finding a partner to venture with.
Asante, Alvin. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Josephine, Jill.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening, all. Well, the information was amazing.
Great.
I think I'm really prepared. I'm in Nairobi doing salon, barber shop. I also do beauty products. Well, I'm really prepared. My friend, my partner, just looking for you kindly. Well, thank you.
Great. Asante, Josephine. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good evening. Dr. Cody, maybe it's the last, and then if you can.
Okay, thank you guys. I'm sorry, I was muted and I'm driving. My name is Cody. I'm joining here for the first time. I just got this link to see if I could join while you guys were in session. I believe I came in too late. I didn't grab a lot. So I live in the US, and maybe I'll join next time to learn more about this group. I'm not sure exactly what you do. So I saw like there's a link where I can see the information about the group. So I'll try to see if I can get that link and learn more about it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are happy that you could join us. We want to mobilize all Kenyans, and we can move resources in different directions towards back home. So we are always weekly on Tuesday and Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. Central European time or 7:30 p.m. East African time. That's the link. And we will also be targeting these few countries which we saw it from our statistics that they are listed below. So these are the statistics. But next time we will be expounding more on this. I want to thank you guys all for creating time. It is only for the betterment of ourselves. So for this session, I want to end for today. We have extended because we had a special guest, and I think it was worth it. So for next, I wish you all the best. Let's spread the news. Let's tell WIDU that really, we are here to get it. I remember, again, I was telling you an example of Cameroon. They got it, they ran with it until they were stopped. So, so karibuni sana, God bless, and I wish you a good evening.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.